Exact play again. Edelman over the middle. 2nd and 3. Down the field. Gronkowski has it at the 2-yard line.
This play would go down as the last reception of Rob Gronkowski's NFL career. Not only did this catch set up the only touchdown of Super Bowl 53 and would end up securing the game for the Patriots, but it was the perfect play to represent Gronk's incredible career in the NFL, laying out to make an athletic grab between 3 defenders in the game's biggest moment. You just really can't ask for a more perfect send-off. So today, in honor of his retirement from the NFL, I'd like to take a look back at the Hall of Fame career of the one and only Rob Gronkowski, who will go down in football history as one of the craziest personalities and most freakish athletes to ever touch the gridiron. Before I do though, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I post a new video on a new player or topic every single Friday, so make sure you've got your notifications on so you never miss an upload. To kick things off, let's start with the undeniably superhuman build of the man who struck fear into defenses' hearts for a near decade of dominance. So if we were to create the perfect tight end in a laboratory, what attributes would you look for? I mean, we obviously want a guy who's tall, he needs to be fast, he should be strong, and it'd also be nice if he was impossible to bring down or cover with a single guy. Oh, perfect. Hello, Gronk. Now, it's very possible that Rob Gronkowski wasn't born, but instead created in a lab to be the ultimate NFL weapon, with hands that are 10 3/4 inches long, almost exactly the length of a football. Coincidence? I'll let you decide that one. Now, if he is from Earth, there's no coincidence that his last name is Gronkowski, because I don't know what the hell they were fed growing up, but Rob has 4 brothers, and all of them have gone on to play pro sports, 3 others in the NFL, and 1 in the MLB. And just like his siblings, Gronk excelled at anything sports-related as a kid, and had over 50 football scholarships coming out of high school. So when his father asked him why he'd chosen to play at the University of Arizona, he answered him in the most Gronk way possible. Dad, if you'd ever been to a pool party at Arizona, you'd understand. Gronk's time in Arizona would include a lot of pool parties, but also a lot of dominant performances for the Wildcats. In his sophomore season, despite missing the first 3 games due to injury, he'd set school records for his position in career receptions, yards, and touchdowns, or in other words, every receiving stat, through just 2 years. Unfortunately though, a back surgery before his junior season would sideline him for the whole year, and begin the vicious cycle of surgeries and recoveries that marked Gronk's career, meaning that he'd entered the 2010 draft with a lowered stock compared to his potential. But if there's one thing in this world that Bill Belichick loves, it's a player who's cheaper than he should be. Rob Gronkowski would be drafted in the 2nd round as the 42nd player off the board, but no one, not even the Patriots, could ever predict how dominant of a player he'd be for the next decade. You see, that little bit earlier about building the perfect tight end wasn't really a joke, because there has never been a player that is athletically gifted as Gronk is at his position. He's 6'6" and 265 pounds, but was able to run and make cuts like a wide receiver, with the hands to match. And his catch radius was otherworldly, in a way that even he had no clue what he was doing sometimes. It would just happen. Add that to the fact that he's as strong or stronger than the majority of comic book characters, and you got a recipe for a lot of destruction out on the football field. In Gronk's 9-year career with the Patriots, he averaged the highest yards per target of any player in the NFL, not just tight ends, and had the most receiving touchdowns of any player in that span with 79, averaging close to 9 touchdowns per season despite injury issues. That's a lot of spikes. He was the ultimate red zone weapon, and with such a huge frame, it was near impossible to win in one-on-one situations against him. In fact, his sure hands were such a safety blanket for Tom Brady that Brady had a career average 129.6 passer rating when targeting Gronk, higher than any other Patriots receiver ever. One of the most efficient ratings for any duo in NFL history to match. Now, part of what makes Gronkowski's skill set so awe-inspiring is that he was not only one of the biggest receiving threats in the league year after year, but he was consistently the best blocking tight end in the NFL to go along with that. He'd have just as many jaw-dropping moments blocking players into the 7th circle of hell as he would have catching passes. He'd finish his career with an average run blocking grade of 88.7 from Pro Football Focus, solidified as the best run blocking tight end in the league. That kind of unpredictability allowed for so much flexibility in the Patriots offense in a way that isn't even really close to fair. When you give a guy like Belichick or McDaniels a player who can morph from an offensive tackle into a slot receiver that can run every route in the route tree, it's no wonder the defenses up against Brady and Gronk never really had much of a chance. As such a deadly weapon for the offense, his movement around the formation would often force defenses to show their hand in coverage, an advantage that Tom Brady will use to punish you at every turn. And the fact that he managed to consistently have so much success in the Patriots scheme is really a testament to his dominance as well, because he only led the league in targets at the tight end position once, as he always did whatever the coaching staff needed from him, whether that meant being a decoy, blocking, or trucking linebackers. That kind of effort, of course, would pay off, as he'd win 3 Super Bowl rings in his 9 seasons with the team, though Gronk's way of explaining that last part is pretty incredible.
My friends and I, we were chilling, and I only played half the season the year we got number 2, so we were hanging out. and we all decided I had 1.5 rings because I only played half that season. That one, the time we won it the second time. And they said that rounds down for some reason to 1. And they said if I get 2 rings, that means I get another ring, I'll have 2.5, and that rounds up to 3, baby. So
there you go.
I got 3 rings now, baby. Woo!
I mean, I've never been great.
That kind of mix of a third grader's enthusiasm and counting skills with the body of an ancient gladiator is exactly what made Gronk so fun to follow off the field too, and his football work ethic would only be matched by his extreme dedication to all things partying and the number 69. After winning Super Bowls, or even losing them, Gronk always managed to live it up, with his crazy antics during Super Bowl parades, and even crashing White House press briefings on presidential visits.
I think I got this, but thank you.
No matter what happened on Sundays, Gronk was going to live life to the fullest. But even though nothing could contain Gronk's personality off the field, on the field his career would always be tied into his difficulties with injury. As such a massive and powerful force, the only way to consistently bring him down was to hit him low, as hard as you possibly could. And all of that trauma didn't take long to start having an effect on Gronk's ability to stay on the field. Strings of major injuries like ACL tears, vertebral hernias, and arm fractures made so that only one of Gronk's 9 seasons would see him playing a full 16 games. But when he was in, he was dominant. In that one full season, he'd set the single season record for yards at the tight end position at the time. But 9 surgeries later in 2018, Gronk was considering calling it quits, as the physical toll on his body just wasn't worth it anymore. He was noticeably slower, and every move seemed much more labored than they did in the years past. After a regular season where he had trouble staying on the field, Gronk got ready to make one last postseason run with the Patriots. He might not have had the same step he did in the past, but he was going to do whatever it took to help the team win a 6th Super Bowl. And those final playoff games would be a testament to how much of a team player Rob Gronkowski has always been. Now, Gronk's playoff performances have always been unreal. By the time the Patriots were entering the 2018 postseason, he'd played nearly an entire regular season's worth of playoff games, with 13 in 8 years. And each time he proved to be invaluable to the Patriots' success. With 68 receptions for 972 yards and 12 touchdowns in playoff games, and pretty much every single postseason record at his position, Gronk had already made a compelling case for best tight end in playoff history. But on a Patriots team that was facing legitimate doubt for the first time in many years, Gronk would play both the role of unsung hero and show-stopping superweapon for the Pats, ending his career on a run that will forever cement him as the best postseason tight end of his generation and probably all time. He'd only catch one pass in the divisional round against the Chargers, but brought a world of hurt in the blocking game that led to a steamrolling rushing performance from Sony Michel and company. Even though he wasn't the star as he'd been in years prior, as he has showed time and time again in his career, he'll do what it takes to win, a model attitude on Belichick's Patriots. In the following week's AFC Championship against the Chiefs, he'd rise to the occasion again in one of the NFL's toughest environments, catching 6 passes for 79 yards and putting on a clinic in the game's most important moments, showing the connection between Brady and Gronk is something we won't see again for a very, very long time. And in one final Super Bowl appearance, Gronk would be one of the only bright spots on the Patriots offense not named Julian Edelman, catching 6 passes for 87 yards and forcing Wade Phillips' Rams to respect Gronk's versatility so much that the Patriots were able to run the same play 3 times in a row. This led to the most electric play of the night, and with that, Rob Gronkowski would ride off into the sunset as a 3-time Super Bowl champ. So what's next for Gronk? Well, even if he's truly done with football, we certainly haven't seen the last of him. With a personality as big as his, there will be plenty of opportunities to take advantage of in the entertainment sphere. He's already been a part of a lot of advertising and even his own TV show, and while his acting chops might need a little bit of improvement,
I'm big and awesome, but this guy is little. Can it really clean? Heck yeah, it can.
he definitely has a future as a media personality, and I think that's just about all we can ask for. And while I'm definitely going to miss watching Rob Gronkowski single-handedly take over games every Sunday, no matter what's next for the future Hall of Famer, I can assure you there will be a lot of partying.